Let me tell you something no one dares to say out loud. Being pretty is temporary. Being popular is seasonal. But being a high-value woman, oh, that lasts forever. When you walk into the room and people pause, when you speak and the world listens, it's not your face, it's not your dress, it's not your followers. It's the energy of a woman who doesn't chase, who doesn't beg, who doesn't settle. If you want to be that woman, the woman who can have the world at her fingertips without asking twice, then stay right here. Because today, I will unlock the 6 powerful secrets of becoming a woman who is impossible to forget and impossible to replace. Know your worth, never discount it. This is not just a catchy phrase. It's the foundation of a woman who commands respect without asking, who receives love without begging, and who attracts abundance without chasing. Most women today know deep inside that they deserve better. But life, relationships, heartbreaks, rejections, and society's expectations make them slowly forget their value. Like that expensive perfume bottle kept untouched in the corner because no one feels it's worth it for everyday use. But the truth is, you were never meant for daily discounts. You were born rare, like diamonds that don't lie in the streets. They are hidden deep, and only those who dig with patience and value can ever touch them. Look around. At your workplace, for example, you do extra work, you stay late, you sacrifice your time. But when it comes to that promotion, they pick the one who shouts louder, who plays dirty, who pushes forward without shame. Why? Because while you believed your work would speak for itself, you forgot to speak your worth. The world will underpay you if you let it. The world will overlook you if you stay silent. High-value women don't wait to be noticed. They raise their voice. They demand their space. They say, I deserve this, without fear of being called difficult or arrogant. Because knowing your worth means setting the price tag on your effort and making sure the world pays it. Take relationships. How many times have you adjusted your dreams, your standards, your needs, just to keep someone? Maybe you let him cancel plans one too many times. Maybe you forgave the forgotten birthday or the careless words. And each time you did that, you put a silent discount on your worth. You told the world, I can take less than I deserve. But a high-value woman knows. Love that comes at the cost of self-respect is not love. It's a transaction you must refuse. When you know your worth, you don't fear walking away from half-hearted men because you believe deeply that life, God, the universe, has someone greater waiting. Someone who will never make you question your value. Even friendships are no exception. Have you noticed? The friends who only call when they need something, who gossip but never clap when you win, who disappear when you're down. Every time you allow these one-sided relationships, you discount yourself. You send a message, my time, my energy is cheap. But a woman of worth is expensive to be around. Her time is limited, precious. Not everyone can access her peace, her advice, her light. You choose who gets that, not the other way around. Think of the marketplace. When you see 2 bags, one costing $5, 0 cents, and one costing $500, 0 cents, you immediately wonder, why such a difference? The expensive one must have quality, value, rarity. Why can't you think of yourself the same way? When you make yourself too available, too eager, too easy, you become the $5 0 cents version. But when you step back, choose your words carefully, invest in yourself, improve your mind, protect your energy, suddenly the world sees the $500 0 cents label They approach with respect, not demand. They earn you, not use you. Even your own self-talk reflects this discount or worth. How do you speak to yourself when you fail? When you gain weight? When you lose an opportunity? Do you say, I'm so stupid, no one wants me, I can't do anything right? Or do you say, I am rare, this mistake is only shaping me, I am worthy, this failure cannot touch my core value? Because the most dangerous discount is the one you give yourself. The world simply copies the price tag you set. You can see it in daily life everywhere. A woman who apologizes for everything, who cannot say no, who accepts less money, less attention, less love. She is shouting to the universe, I don't know what I'm worth. And the universe responds, as you wish. But the woman who smiles, stands firm, and lets opportunities come to her, she is declaring, I am priceless. And guess what? The universe gives her exactly that. Emotional independence is your real glow. And no, it's not some poetic line from a self-help book. It's the secret weapon most women forget they already possess. The ability to stand strong, unshaken, even when the world forgets to clap for you. Even when the phone doesn't ring. Even when the man you wanted walks away without a word. Emotional independence means you are your own sun. You rise, you shine, you glow, not because someone tells you you're beautiful, worthy, or special, but because you already know. Look at the woman who waits for a good morning text to feel loved. She smiles when the phone beeps, frowns when it stays silent. Her day depends on the mood of another person. Now compare her to the woman who wakes up, stretches, breathes deeply, makes her tea, reads something powerful, and sets her intention for the day. She doesn't wait for the world to validate her existence. She validates herself. She is not a satellite revolving around someone's approval. She is the sun. And the sun doesn't wait for applause to rise. Take the woman who fights in a relationship every day because she fears loneliness. She begs, she explains, she cries, thinking if she tries harder, if she becomes smaller, quieter, more pleasing, he'll stay. But what she doesn't realize is this: no man stays because you forget yourself. They stay when they fear losing a woman who is fine on her own. Emotional independence makes you magnetic because it says, I don't need you. I want you, but I'll never break without you. And the world respects that strength far more than it respects desperation. Even in friendships, how many times have you smiled when your so-called friends gossiped about you behind your back, or forgot your birthday, or left you on read just because you feared losing their company? Emotional independence means you can sit alone in a cafe with your coffee and your thoughts and not feel like a failure. It means you'd rather have peace than noisy company that drains you. It means you can cancel plans without guilt because your energy, your mind, your happiness comes first. You are not lonely. You are complete. Look at the woman who checks her likes and comments 100 times after posting a photo. Every heart symbol feeds her self-worth. Every comment lifts her mood or destroys it. But emotional independence says, post it because you love it. Wear that dress because you adore it. Cut your hair short because you wanted to, not because you needed someone to say, wow. Your beauty, your worth, your glow comes from within. The world cannot give it, and the world cannot take it away. Think about your career. The woman who waits for her boss's approval to feel confident never rises far. She drowns in doubt. But the woman who believes in her own skills, who claps for herself after a good presentation, who walks into meetings like she belongs there, even if nobody says a word, she rises. Because emotional independence allows you to lead without permission, to shine without validation. And when you shine like that, the world, the boss, the clients, they follow. They trust a woman who trusts herself. Even family can't control an emotionally independent woman. Your parents might tell you to marry now, have children now, stop dreaming so big. But you smile and say, I'll do it on my time. Not out of rebellion, out of knowing who you are. Emotional independence means you can listen to everyone's opinions, but decide for yourself. You can love your family deeply and still walk a different path without fear. You owe the world your happiness, not your obedience. See that woman crying on the subway because her friend betrayed her? We've all been there. But the emotionally independent woman wipes her tears, looks in the mirror and says, this pain does not define me. This betrayal does not break me. I'm still whole. Because the strongest glow comes after the darkest moment, not from others rushing to comfort you, but from you standing up alone, again and again and again. Look at the woman sitting in silence in her room after a breakup. Her phone is silent, her inbox is empty, and yet she plays music, she writes in her journal, she laughs at old memories, she plans her future. Not because anyone told her she could, but because she knows she will rise. She knows no man can complete her, no rejection can reduce her, no loneliness can defeat her. This is emotional independence, the deepest glow a woman can ever wear. It is invisible, unshakable, unforgettable. Silence is her loudest power. Not screaming, not arguing, not proving. Silence. Because when a high-value woman goes quiet, the whole world starts to listen. People wonder what she's thinking. They wonder what she'll do next. They feel her absence like an empty throne in a grand hall where the queen is no longer seated. Her silence is not weakness. It's the strongest, sharpest weapon she owns. You see, the world expects noise, fights, tears, drama, but when she gives none of that, when she simply folds her arms, smiles slightly and steps back without a single word, suddenly even the loudest mouths fall quiet. Think about that moment when you receive a rude message from someone you once trusted. You know they expect your long, angry reply. They expect you to defend, to fight, to cry. But you type nothing. You leave their message on read. You choose silence. And that silence says more than words ever could. It says, I no longer waste my energy explaining myself to people who don't deserve my truth. And believe me, that silence will scream in their head louder than any insult. Even in relationships, this power glows. Imagine this. A man takes you for granted. He forgets to call. He cancels plans last minute. He thinks you will complain, cry, demand attention. But instead, you smile, say nothing, and step away. You don't text. You don't call. You let your absence do the speaking. And suddenly, panic fills him. Why isn't she chasing? Why isn't she begging? Why is she so calm? Because silence sends this unspoken message. I am not afraid to lose you. I have myself. That's the kind of silence that breaks egos and shakes careless hearts. Look at the workplace too. There's always that person who tries to challenge you in meetings, who belittles your ideas, who throws subtle jabs. You could argue back, you could fight for attention, but the high-value woman listens, smiles, and lets the work speak. She doesn't waste breath on proving. Because when a project succeeds, when a result shines, when the boss praises her in front of all, the noise dies on its own. Her silence becomes her crown. And those who doubted her are forced to eat their words without her lifting a finger. Even in friendships, silence carries power. The friends who once gossiped, who betrayed, who showed their true colors, when you discover their disloyalty, you don't cause a scene. You simply withdraw. No messages, no explanations. You let the door close silently behind you. And that silence burns because people expect a grand goodbye. They expect tears or curses, but when you vanish quietly, they sit with the guilt. They wonder. They regret. Your silence haunts them more than any scream ever could. Think about arguments with family. How many times have you wanted to shout, to make them understand your dreams, your decisions, but when you choose silence, when you calmly continue your path without seeking their approval, your silence says, I will live my life, whether you understand or not. And this silence stirs something deeper than rebellion. It commands quiet respect, even from those who once doubted you. Look at the woman who is cheated on, disrespected, lied to. She discovers the truth. Her friends tell her to confront, to scream, to slap, to curse, but she smiles, packs her things, and leaves in pure silence. No drama, no tears. And that man? He feels fear, confusion, emptiness. Because her silence says what words cannot. You are not worth my rage. That is the moment when the one who caused pain realizes he lost something rare, something precious, without even the chance to say sorry. Even in public spaces, this power is seen. When a stranger disrespects you, mocks you, provokes you, expecting you to react, you simply walk away. Head high, no reply, no defense, and they are left shouting at the air, powerless, because silence shows control. And control shows strength. A high-value woman never fears silence. She is not uncomfortable in quiet rooms or unanswered messages, because she knows the world will always chase what cannot be easily understood, what cannot be easily touched, what walks away in calm silence. This silence becomes a mirror in which others see their own flaws, their own mistakes, their own weakness. And that reflection is louder than any scream. Unapologetic standards. No compromise zone. This is not arrogance. This is not being too much. This is the silent, fierce law by which high-value women live. Because when you lower your standards just to be liked, you send the world a dangerous message. That you are negotiable. That you are flexible when it comes to your own worth. And once you do that, even once, the world will always expect you to bend. But when you set your standards high and guard them without shame, you create a boundary that commands respect without even speaking. You become rare, and rare is always valuable. Think of dating. A man asks you out, but his effort is lazy. Last-minute plans, unanswered texts for days, vague promises with no real action. Many women will accept this thinking, maybe he's busy, maybe I'm expecting too much. But not a woman with unapologetic standards. She smiles, says no thank you, and moves on. She knows the truth. If you accept the bare minimum once, you will be served crumbs forever. She refuses to be the maybe woman. She's the certainly woman. The one who gets real plans, real attention, real commitment. And if he can't give that, she'd rather eat dinner alone under candlelight than lower her standards for temporary company. because her peace is worth more than his presence. Even friendships are tested by this. You have a friend who only calls when she needs something. Money, advice, support. But when you're down, when you need a listener, she's nowhere to be found. Many women accept this, afraid to lose that friendship. But not a woman with no compromise standards. She gently lets that friend go. No drama, no fights. Just a quiet decision. I deserve balanced energy. I deserve friends who pour into me as much as I pour into them. And so she moves forward, alone for a while, maybe, but never empty. Never used. Because she values herself too much to entertain half-hearted people. Workplace life too tests your boundaries. The boss who demands late hours with no extra pay. The co-worker who dumps their task onto your desk. The team who expects you to keep quiet, stay small, smile sweetly, while they take the credit. A woman of unapologetic standards doesn't smile and nod. She speaks up. She says, no, this is not part of my role. No, I will not stay late without recognition. She risks being called difficult because she knows that being labeled difficult is better than being labeled a doormat. And slowly the office learns they cannot take advantage of her. She has lines drawn in steel, not sand. Even in family matters, the tests come. A mother who insists she should get married soon. An aunt who asks, when will you have kids? When will you settle down? A father who thinks dreams are silly things for girls. But this woman, this queen, smiles and says, I respect your opinion, but my life, my timeline, my choices are mine. And in that quiet defiance, in that refusal to fold under pressure, she earns their reluctant respect. Because people will always push until you push back. In small things too, these standards live. A store clerk who is rude, a stranger who cuts in line, a taxi driver who cheats on fare. She does not stay silent to keep the peace. She speaks. Calmly, firmly. She says, no, this is not acceptable. Because she knows that life is a reflection of what you tolerate. Accept disrespect once, and it will return tenfold. Refuse it once, and the world learns your worth. Look at self-love. The woman who accepts a body shamed by media, a mind polluted by doubts, a soul ignored by herself. She compromises daily. But the woman of standards wakes up early to stretch, to read, to meditate, not because anyone watches, but because she refuses to let herself down. She eats well, not to impress others, but to respect her own temple. She dresses with care, not for likes, not for attention, but because she deserves to feel beautiful for herself, even if no one sees her that day. And even love, the greatest test. When a man says, I can't commit right now, let's just see where this goes. A woman with high standards smiles gently and says, I wish you well, but I don't wait in uncertainty. I am the woman who deserves clarity, certainty, respect. And she walks away, not because she is cold, but because she knows. Waiting for half love blocks real love from arriving. She clears space for something better, something worthy, because her standards are not flexible, they are sacred. Her mystery is her magnet. It's the silent force that draws people in without effort. It's the reason why heads turn when she enters a room without saying a word. Why conversations pause when she simply smiles and walks by. She doesn't reveal everything about herself. She doesn't rush to explain, justify, or lay her soul bare on the table for everyone to read. And that, right there, is her superpower. Because in a world that overshares, where everyone posts every moment, every thought, every feeling for the world to see, she chooses silence. She chooses privacy. She chooses to be the unanswered question. And questions are always more attractive than answers. Look at the woman who meets someone new, a potential partner, a friend, a colleague. The average person rushes to share everything. Where they've been, who they've dated, what they want, what they fear. But not her. She smiles, she listens, she asks, but reveals very little. And that mystery becomes the hook. The man wonders, what is she thinking? What's her story? What's her dream? The friend wonders, why do I feel like I don't fully know her? They lean closer. They chase her presence. They want to know more. Because she didn't give it away so easily. She made herself rare. And what is rare is always valuable. Even in friendships, her mystery works its magic. She doesn't gossip. She doesn't tell every secret to every ear. Her life is not an open book for those who do not deserve to read it. She lets people guess where she went, what she thinks, who she loves. And in that guessing, they become curious. They wonder. They ask. But she gives them only what she chooses, when she chooses. Not to play games, but because her energy is sacred. She knows not everyone deserves the full map of her soul. At work, her mystery makes her unforgettable. She walks into meetings calm, focused, quiet. She lets others speak loud, boast, show off. And then she delivers her ideas. Clear, sharp, unexpected. People are surprised, impressed. I didn't know she was this brilliant, they whisper. That's the power of mystery. You hide your sharpest arrows until the moment to strike. She doesn't need to prove herself every second. Her quiet confidence does that for her. And the office remembers her not as the loudest, but as the most interesting. In relationships, her mystery is irresistible. The man who dates her feels both joy and hunger. Joy because she's real, she's grounded, she's kind, but hunger because he cannot fully figure her out. She doesn't rush to share her past wounds. She doesn't lay out every dream on the first date. She smiles and changes the subject. She hints but never reveals. And that man leaves every dinner wondering, who is she really? What's behind that look in her eyes? And he comes back again and again, hoping for a little more. Because mystery is addictive. It keeps people close without chains. Even on social media, where everyone shares everything, she holds back. She posts beauty, joy, pieces of her life, but never the whole story. Never every detail. People scroll, pause, wonder, where is she? What is she doing? Why does she seem so at peace? She does not overshare because she understands mystery feeds curiosity and curiosity feeds attention. Family, she keeps boundaries. They may ask too much. Who are you seeing? When will you settle? What are you planning? She smiles and gently says, you'll see. No long explanations, no defense. Because she knows, when you reveal less, you are judged less. When you keep mystery, you keep control. In everyday life, the power of her mystery glows. The shopkeeper wonders why she always looks so calm. The neighbors wonder why they rarely see her guests. The colleagues wonder why she never joins every gossip circle. And in this quiet hiding of her inner world, she becomes the woman everyone notices. Everyone thinks about. everyone secretly admires. Because in mystery lies magnetism. In mystery lies power. And she holds it like a queen, holding the secret key to a treasure no one else can find. Purpose before people. This is not cruelty, this is clarity. The high-value woman knows that no relationship, no friendship, no fleeting attention is worth sacrificing her life's deeper calling. She understands this rare truth. People come and go, but purpose stays. People may love you today and leave you tomorrow, but your mission, your reason for waking up every morning remains. And this is what makes her untouchable, unshakable. When you put your purpose before people, you stop chasing, you stop begging, you stop pleasing. Because you realize your destiny is far bigger than their approval. Look at the girl who once spent hours checking her phone, waiting for messages that never came. She put her happiness in the hands of others. But the day she chose purpose first, everything shifted. She put down the phone and picked up the book that changed her mind. She shut the door on distractions and opened the door to her dreams. While others were busy texting, dating, pleasing, she was busy building. And when she built herself strong, mentally, emotionally, financially, those same people who ignored her suddenly noticed her glow. Because nothing is more attractive than a woman walking in her purpose. Even in friendships, this rule shines. Friends who laughed when she said she wanted to start a business, learn a skill, write a book, but she let them go, not in anger, but in silence. Because purpose before people. And soon, new friends appeared. The ones who spoke about growth, vision, passion. Because when you choose purpose, the right people are drawn to you like a magnet. The wrong ones fade away like shadows at sunrise. At work, this clarity rules her. The co-worker who always wants to chat, to waste time, to distract, she smiles politely but returns to her screen because her dreams won't build themselves. The boss who offers a shortcut, a deal that compromises her values, she says no because purpose before people. She would rather struggle on the right path than succeed on the wrong one. And the world notices this. Quietly, deeply, they respect it, even if they don't admit it. The sunset from Shaft falls upon Big Nye. The world notices this. Quietly, deeply, they respect it, even if they don't admit it. Because integrity is rare, and she wears it like armor. In family too, this strength is tested. When her relatives tell her to settle, to marry quickly, to pick comfort over calling, she listens, but she does not obey. Because her dreams are not their dreams. Her path is not their path. She knows that a life lived for others' expectations is not life at all. So she smiles and walks her way. Purpose before people. And when her success blooms, when her joy shines, even the doubters will see the truth. They will realize she chose right. Even in love, this fire burns. The man who asks her to shrink, to stay small, to make him her whole world. She smiles and lets him go. Because she has a vision bigger than romance. A fire bigger than fleeting passion. If love cannot walk beside her purpose, then it cannot walk beside her at all. And this makes her irresistible. Because a woman who does not need anyone is the most desired of all. She does not chase love, it chases her. In daily life, this principle guards her peace. The neighbor who complains, the stranger who judges, the voices that criticize, she lets them speak. But their words never reach her soul. Because her focus is steel. Her mind is locked on her mission. And while they waste time pulling others down, she rises. Sometimes She faces her desires. She rises. Quietly, powerfully. Like the sun that rises whether the world claps or not. Purpose before people means waking up early when the world sleeps. It means training the body when no one watches. It means writing the book, launching the idea, chasing the dream when everyone else scrolls and watches and waits. It means knowing that your future self is watching. And she will thank you for every sacrifice made today. And that future self is more important than the temporary approval of others. This purpose-first life looks lonely at times. When friends go out, when family doubts, when lovers misunderstand. But the woman who holds her purpose knows this loneliness is golden. It is a space where strength grows, where ideas are born, where vision becomes unbreakable. And when the harvest comes, when the success blooms, the loneliness will feel like the price of a great kingdom. Because the world remembers not those who pleased everyone, but those who followed purpose. Without fear, without apology, without compromise. And now, as this truth settles in your heart like a quiet storm, listen closely. Because the world has always whispered this secret, but only a few ever hear it. You were not made to be ordinary. You were not made to fit in, to shrink, to silence your fire, just to make others warm. You were born for more. More strength, more grace, more greatness. And the moment you choose yourself, fully, fearlessly, unapologetically, you begin to rise above the noise that tries to drown you. What is the value of a diamond if it lies hidden in the dust, coated with fear, dulled by the opinions of the world? But when it is carved, shaped, shined under the hardest pressure, then it blinds the world with its brilliance. And you, dear listener, are that diamond. The pressure you feel today, the expectations, the judgment, the loneliness of standing apart is the very thing shaping you into something rare, something unbreakable, something unforgettable. Remember, pressure creates diamonds, not comfort. Fire purifies gold, not ease. The woman who walks in her purpose, who holds her mystery, who guards her standards, and glows in emotional independence, is unstoppable. She is the queen without a crown, because a crown is invisible, but her presence rules the room. She does not have to shout to be heard. Her silence speaks. She does not have to beg to be loved. Her worth demands it. She does not have to run after anyone, because what is meant for her is already running to meet her. This is the secret of the high-value woman. She does not chase. She attracts. When life throws you doubt, smile like you know a secret. When the world questions you, stay silent like you carry a treasure. When they leave you because you are too much, let them go with grace, because you were never meant to fit in small spaces. You are built to expand, to rise, to fill the room with the energy of 1,000 suns. The woman who lives with purpose before people walks with destiny by her side. The one who keeps her standards high may lose a few people, but she finds herself. And that is the greatest gain of all. Let the world call you difficult. Let them say you expect too much. Let them label you mysterious, cold, too confident. Wear every word like a jewel, because difficult women move mountains. Mysterious women shake empires. Women who expect much receive much. And confident women change the course of history. Born to be respected by the right ones. You were not created to blend into the crowd. You were meant to stand alone, strong like a tree in a storm, unbending, unbreaking, unyielding. For it is the tree that stands alone that gets the full light of the sun. And it is the woman who walks alone that becomes the light herself. Be that woman. The one who values time over attention, purpose over people, solitude over noise. The one who says no without guilt, yes without fear, and goodbye without regret. The one who waits for no one to tell her she's enough, because she decided long ago that she already is. Your power was never in their approval. It was never in the likes, the followers, the applause. It was always in you, in your choices, in your standards, in your refusal to settle for anything less than everything you deserve. So rise, not tomorrow, not when they finally understand you, not when the world is ready. Rise now, as you are, bold, brave, brilliant. Because queens are not given thrones, they take them. They build them from the stones others threw. They wear crowns made of battles survived. And they walk roads no one dared to walk before. This is your road. This is your throne. This is your time. Because in the end, remember what the world always forgets. A high-value woman dared to walk. Because in the end, remember what the world always forgets. A high-value woman never loses. She either wins or she learns. She either conquers or she transforms. And every step she takes, whether in love, in life, or in destiny, leaves a trail of greatness for others to follow. Be that trailblazer. Be that queen. Be that legend in the making. The world is watching. But more importantly, your future self is watching. Make her proud.